Time to get serious with wide receivers, particularly the rookie wide receivers. Which wide receivers should you be targeting? Tell me a little bit about them, Joe. Who should I be looking at? What type of position are they in to succeed? You told me about Ladd McConkey last year. You told me about Brian Thomas Jr. Who's this year's Brian Thomas Jr.? Well, we're going to dive in. You guys can help me make a decision here because we're talking about 5 rookie wide receivers you should seriously consider drafting for fantasy football 2025. Big time episode here for you. If you're new to the channel, if you're new, you wouldn't know what to do. So hit the thumbs up. Well, even if you're not new, hit the thumbs up anyway. But if you are new, subscribe, smash it, tap it, slap it, and turn on that bell. We are going hard here. The only channel telling you the truth about fantasy football. No copy and paste here. Last year, every channel told you CMC first overall. Every channel told you Deebo Samuel and Ayuk, who are on the same team, to be drafted in round 3. Tyreek Hill, round 1. What's his name? Christian Kirk ahead of Brian Thomas Jr. Ladd McConkey, round 7. Now they're all of a sudden telling you Brian Thomas, round 1 to 2. Ladd McConkey, round 2. Why weren't they on him last year? If you want to get on the next guy, the guy that the sheep are going to be riding next year, this is the channel. So subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and grab the 16-round draft because I'll lay it all out for you on a silver platter. Video training, principal cheat sheet, which I update till the season starts. Everything you need. I'm handing you the championship with 16 rounds. Use code WIN to save 20% right now. I don't know how long that deal is going to last. I might be taking it away probably at the end of June, but take advantage of it right now. 20%, use code WIN. All right, let's dive into it, guys. I'm super excited to talk wide receivers. Now, I love the value at wide receivers. That being said, this year, when I'm looking at the strategy, I'm almost tempted to get an ace in the first 2 rounds because there's a ton of depth at running back. There's a lot of great running backs that are in a great position to succeed. Guys like RJ Harvey, for example. But look for their ADP to rise as well, as running backs are extremely scarce and they're hard to come by. So people are going to want to jump on them as soon as possible. So right now you're getting value at running back, but it's going to go up. But let's focus on these rookie wide receivers because a lot of them are, actually all of them are great value right now. We're going to talk about them. The first one I want to talk about here, I want to get this one out of the way, is let's go Travis Hunter first. Now, the reason I'm talking about him first is because based on ADP, he is the first wide receiver that's a rookie that's coming off. Now, he's coming off round 5. He's 64 overall amongst all other players. I'm going to give you a little bit about him, and I'll tell you whether you should draft him or not, okay? 5-star recruit out of college, ultra explosive, quick off the line. I mean, we're talking quick acceleration. We're talking 4.4 speed here. Great separation. Instant acceleration, like I said, off the line. Amazing hand-eye coordination. Route running is amazing. Red zone positioning on deep balls. And in the red zone, he's a red zone nightmare because he can get into position and get the ball, right? I mean, this is the guy, he's got everything. He's a complete package. That being said, he's kind of a dual threat in regards to he can be a corner and he can be a wide receiver. And it's up to the Jacksonville Jaguars to see how they're going to utilize his amazing abilities and skills, okay? 6'1", 185 pounds. Like I said, last year in college, 15 touchdowns, just under 1,300 yards. This guy's the real deal. He drafted first round by the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're talking pick number 2. Now, as soon as I saw this, my initial reaction was, this hurts Brian Thomas Jr. Now, again, if he is used as a wide receiver, he can be a wide receiver 1. He's got the talent to be a wide receiver 1. Depending on what Trevor Lawrence does here, obviously he's got the rapport with Brian Thomas Jr. and this and that. But I think this does actually, in fact, hurt Brian Thomas Jr. I think Travis Hunter can be utilized a lot. I think that the talent is there and he could be the one. And this is what I don't like. I don't like situations where, you have some, I still think Brian Thomas Jr. is the one. Don't get me wrong. But I just don't like situations where it's not a clear cut, like big gap between the two, right? There's certain wide receivers where I see like a massive gap. It's the one, like Addison and Jefferson. As good as Addison was in regards to being a college prospect and being drafted high draft capital, there's still a pretty large gap over the past couple of years of what we've seen. Can that gap continue with Brian Thomas Jr. and Hunter? I don't know. But if I'm deciding between the two, I just think right now Brian Thomas Jr. is expensive, coming off late round 1, early round 2. Expensive for a guy that us as 16 rounders and part of this community, we're getting round 7 to 8, 9. Now I got to pay a first round pick for a guy we were getting in the 10th round. Mind you, I got him in dynasty, right? But I ended up trading him, got some deals. Anyways, long story short, I ended up trading Brian Thomas Jr. in my dynasty. That's a whole other story. So Travis Hunter, again, I love the talent. I love the opportunity in regards to the value round 5. So if I'm choosing between the two, and personally, I'm probably fading Travis. If I'm going anybody, I'm going Hunter over Brian Thomas Jr., but I am personally fading Travis Hunter just because Brian Thomas is there and he could be the one. Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure who the one is. And if I have to ask myself, and I still kind of hinting that it's Brian Thomas Jr., I'm just not paying that draft capital. If I had to choose, I'd go Hunter round 5 just based on value. Does that make sense? Like, I'm just trying to break this out to you instead of just saying, hey, draft on ADP, get Brian Thomas round 1, and you got to get Hunter as well. No. Again, these are the same people telling you draft Hunter at 5, Brian Thomas in 1, are the same people telling you Ayuk and Debo round 3 last year. Just, it doesn't work. And then last year it was like Keenan Allen, it was like DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Romo Tuesday from the Bears with a rookie quarterback, draft him in like round 3, 4, and 5. I'm like, dude, you don't even know who the one is, and you're telling people to draft these guys consecutively when you're missing out on potential wide receiver ones. Guys, I use logic on this channel, and that's what we're all about. So hit the thumbs up if this is making sense to you. Travis Hunter, I'm probably personally fading him for 2025 fantasy football. All right, next guy here is Matthew Golden. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about him. Now, why he's appealing to me, like Travis Hunter is all talent, right? Like I just love him. Golden is talent too. He's one of the top wide receiver prospects, right? A couple notes on him. He's a burner. We're talking like 4.29 speed. He's 5'11", 191, right? Not as big as some of the other guys I'm going to mention coming up. Natural hands, nasty route runner, burner, explosive. And here's the thing, right? He's in a situation where he can be the one. When we're looking at ADPs for the next 4 guys I'm going to mention here, amazing value, right? You've got Jaden Reed, who's sitting 44th amongst wide receivers, and Golden is sitting at 53. So the consensus have Reed ahead of him, and that's strictly based on the rapport that he has with Love. And he's good, but you got to understand that the Packers spread the ball a lot. They spread the ball around, like 76 attempts here, 76 attempts for Dobbs. It was just really messed up in regards to distribution, really spread out. Watson, I don't think is going to be a threat. So it's going to be, I think Golden, based on his draft capital being like a first round pick, right? He is going to be on the field. Like, it's going to be him and Reed and Dobbs. I would think that Reed, in the slot possibly, but he's going to get the volume. Now, again, what happens here is that they're going to run the ball a lot with Josh Jacobs. How much volume is Matthew Golden going to be? Is Love, who's a value in his own right and a sleeper at quarterback this position, he's got some good weapons, including tight ends. And they got 2 decent tight ends that can catch the ball. But how much volume is Matthew Golden going to get? Is he going to be, the number 1 target? Are they going to just completely gravitate towards him and just consistently feed Matthew Golden? And I would probably lean, if I had to, take a guess, I say probably not. I still think they're going to distribute the ball. But based on the value of him, we're talking at the time of this recording, we're talking, what's the date? It's like early May, right? Mid-May almost. Round 11 ADP, and I think that goes up. But again, you're looking at a huge target distribution type situation with the Packers in general. But I love the talent. I really like the talent here. I think there could be something special. I like the value. The round 11 is pretty remarkable. Like I said, and I keep going back to that example because it's such a prime example with Debo and Ayuk, both coming off round 3 last year. It's like, okay, now we don't know who the one is in Green Bay. But there's a chance that Golden could be that one, and why not spend a round 11 pick on it? Whereas last year, you're like, well, I don't know who the one is. Is it Debo or Ayuk, or are either one of them going to do anything good? Because I knew they kind of sucked anyway. They weren't that good. But why invest a 3rd round pick on a question mark when you could spend an 11th round pick on a possible boom or safe pick? It's about logic. This is what I implement in 16 rounds. I use logic and common sense, and I look for the value, and I look for the situations instead of just saying draft Debo and Ayuk round 3 last year. And it's so funny because last year, a little off topic here, off Debo and Ayuk, but Higgins, for example, last year they were off him. He was coming off well past like the 4th, 5th round, something like that. because he busted, right, the year before. But the year before that, he was second round. Then he busted. They didn't like him last year. Now they like Higgins round 2 again. Didn't you learn your lesson the first time that you don't draft a wide receiver on his team when you know he's the wide receiver 2 on his team? You don't draft him in the second round, in the early rounds. It's crazy. It's the thinking of the mainstream, the thinking of ADP consensus ranking is just broken. That's why 60 rounds is the truth. That's why people that get 60 rounds win their leagues. All right, let's keep going here. Let's go with this guy here. And I had to figure out how to pronounce his name, and I'm still going to probably butcher it. It's Tetaroa. Let's call him T-Mac. Tetaroa McMillan. He's known as T-Mac. If you watch him in college, they call him T-Mac. One of the top, if not the top, next to Travis Hunter, wide receiver prospect here. Now, his ADP in fantasy is going to vary. He's sitting as wide receiver 35, okay, amongst wide receivers. So Hunter 31 amongst wide receivers. McMillan, T-Mac, is 35, so just a little bit after him. 69 overall. So again, we're looking at a round 5 pick at the time of this recording. If you want to add this, stud rookie to your, to your roster, 6'4", 219, right? Amazing route running, great hands. A wider catch radius, strong, good after the catch, all positives for him. He was a first round pick, high draft capital, so he's got everything going for him. When you talk about talent, route running, hands, everything, okay? He lands, though, on Carolina, where you've got Thielen, who's washed up and done. I'm not concerned. Coker, who did okay. And then you got Leggett, who really didn't do anything last year, but again, another higher draft capital guy they drafted. So I would assume, right, based on, talent, opportunity, that he automatically slides in as the one. I mean, it goes without saying based on the competition around him. The problem I have here, again, is Bryce Young. Now, he did start stepping it up a little bit last year, knowing his job's on the line. But how good is he and how good is he going to be? Now, that being said, you could say, well, he kind of sucked, Joe, because he never really had the weapons. He had Adam Thielen. And I get it, right? Like, we can make excuses for Bryce Young, but we've seen guys like Pat Mahomes and other quarterbacks step up with minimal weapons. Like, Pat Mahomes throughout his career has never really he had Tyreek Hill and stuff like that, but a lot of times he just kind of had these like Marquise Valdes-Scantlings and other guys kind of step in, and you don't really have that true Jamar Chase type wide receiver. Like I said, he had Tyreek Hill for a little bit, right? But he did the best he could with what he had. And he shined regardless. And now you've got, T-Mac with Bryce. Could that be something? For me personally, if you're asking me if I'm feeling T-Mac right now and that situation with Carolina, I'm really not. I think there's other wide receivers. The other two guys I kind of like a little bit more based on value and just opportunity. But I don't know, man. T-Mac, talent is there. I just don't trust Bryce Young. I'm not feeling that. And that round 5 pick, it's not bad, but it's Carolina, and I'm just having issues, with that whole situation there, okay? Let me know what you guys think on T-Mac here. Tetaroa McMillan, great talent. Are you drafting him? But you're going to have to be paying around 4 to 5 to get him, and are you okay with that, okay? The next two I absolutely love. Absolutely love. Again, before I do, make sure you guys do grab the 16-round draft solution. You do not want to draft without it. I'm telling you, man, you're going to know where to draft these players. And not only that, their ADPs are going to change. So you're going to get updated notes and a cheat sheet that you can print out that will be updating as we go. So you're going to be on top of it. I do all the work for you in regards to maintaining those ADPs and when to grab these guys. So when your draft comes, boom, you print off the cheat sheet or just go into the course. You're able to see everything. So grab 16 rounds, use code WIN to save. You will not regret it. You'll be extremely happy, okay? All right, the next two I absolutely love. And I'm torn on which of these two I absolutely love even more than the other. But let's talk about the first one here, and we're talking rookie wide receiver number 4 is Trey Harris, 6'2", 205, okay? We're talking decent speed, right? 4.5 speed I got for him. Great on the deep routes, elite ball tracker on those deep routes, good on the blocking, very physical. And here's the thing, right? They wanted to get a guy that's clutch, and this guy is clutch, and he can be clutch. He's a clutch performer. And he can catch the ball. And he does stuff with the ball after the catch. So they kind of learned their lesson with Quentin Johnson, who's on the chopping block, which I believe at the time I was recording. And they were like, let's just not make the same mistake we did last time with Quentin Johnson. Let's get a guy who could actually catch the ball, and Trey Harris is the guy. Now, here's what I love from a fantasy perspective. At the time of this recording, he's sitting at wide receiver 63. 163 overall, round 12 to 13 for Trey Harris, who could be the one. Ladd McConkey is not the one. He is a slot receiver. Had a good season last year, but they are looking for that Keenan Allen replacement. And quite frankly, Trey Harris could easily be the Keenan Allen replacement. Keenan Allen was kind of at the end of his career, and he was force-fed by Herbert. If Herbert sees something that he likes, he could easily start force-feeding Harris, and we could have something magical here. Absolutely magical. And we're talking around 12 to 13 ADP at the time of this recording. It's an absolute steal. You are going to be robbing your league mates with this pick. And I'm going to keep talking about Trey Harris in the offseason because he excites me. I'm excited for him. Now, here's the crazy thing. Guys like him and guys like the next guy I'm going to mention, right? Guys like, even T-Mac is a little more expensive. But the next two guys and Golden, those three guys, Golden, Harris, and the next guy I'm going to mention, all cheaper than like a Darnell Mooney, who's sitting 47th amongst wide receivers right now, or Quentin Johnson sitting 63, Harris is sitting 64 at the time of this recording. Christian Kirk is sitting at 51. He's on Houston. Christian Kirk sucks. If you ask me who I'd rather have, Trey Harris or Christian Kirk, I'm like, come on, it's a no-brainer here, right? Like, I'm not going to draft Kirk in a crowded wide receiver core with Nico Collins. They drafted another first rounder. Guys, listen. Yeah, it's about value, right? Like, don't go off rankings. They're not going to help you. Love Trey Harris. I think there's a great opportunity there if that makes sense for you, okay? And the last one, again, hit the thumbs up. I'm excited about this one, is Jack Besh, Jack Beck, Jack Beshy, whatever, right? I think it's Jack Besh is how they pronounce it, right? B-E-C-H. And here's the thing, wide receiver 65, 4.55 speed, not the fastest. That's okay, 6'1", 214. But here's what I love about him. I've talked about it, multiple times. Now, what I love actually is what the Raiders did. They ended up, going with the top rookie running back in Genty, and they still managed to get a solid wide receiver in round 2. Awesome job, Raiders. You needed to fix this offense, and I believe you just did, because Jack Besh runs with controlled anger. And I'm going to keep talking about this, and I'm going to keep quoting this because I think it's going to really resonate as the season starts. Again, his freshman coach in high school, right, said to him, always make the first man miss. And the second guy and the third guy lives by this motto where he just sheds tacklers. He just goes for it. His yards after catch is amazing. His ball tracking skills are amazing on deep balls. Very, very elite catch focus and extremely physical. Listen, I love this. And what I love is this round 12 to 13 ADP. It's just wild. It just reminds me of like Nico Collins when I was grabbing him in Tank Dell, the year where Stroud, I think it was like 2 years ago, where before they broke out. And I'm just like, dude, like, why not grab Nico and Dell, and then like Nico goes off and away you go. And now he's like a first, second round pick. It's like, why not get Beshy? Why not get him late? And I look for his ADP to go as soon as there's news, as soon as there's like, the summer camps and all this stuff, training camps and like preseason. It's like, okay, boom. Like he does an amazing catch. There's some social media buzz and away you go. His ADP skyrockets like 5 rounds. So I love drafting early. That's what I like to do. And I can get these guys for immense value. Okay. So we're talking Hunter, Golden, T-Mac, Harris, and Besh. All right. Make sure you target them. And I told you which ones I really like, okay? Let me know what you guys think below. Smash it, tap it, slap it, drop a question if you have one. Stay glued to the channel. Turn on the bell. I'm going to be starting live soon. Still a little bit early right now. And we'll keep it rolling for you, man. That's what we do here. Subscribe, Lion Mentality, grab 16 rounds, drop a question, thumbs up. We'll talk soon. Have yourself an outstanding day. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. A lot of information here for you guys to start taking notes. You want to grab some of these guys. We'll talk soon.